changes that need to be made. The third one will be requested. So with that, just want to give you. So I'll just start over again. No. So what is expected today? You're going to be hearing for the delegations looking for finances for non-profit organizations. One of the things that you already have is the list of the full-time equivalent requests. So each of the managers will be discussing or trying to convince you into choosing or stating that you're approving that. After that, we're going to go in camera and we'll discuss it a bit more detail so that you can discuss it and have questions in a in-camera session. And it's because we are talking about staff. I want to introduce you to Wayne. He's the deputy CFO. This will be his first full year doing the budget. He was my assistant. He did awesome. He proved himself when he did the budget as a team. When I say Wayne did the budget, it's also a whole team. All of the managers are involved, and same for the municipal councilors that are directors. Your staff are the same way. It's a team building. That I want to introduce you to Wayne, and Wayne, take over.
Thanks, Jim. So I'm Wayne, I'm Deputy CFO for those that don't know. So we'll just start. So this is going to be the agenda today. We're going to review the granted aid policy really quick before the first delegation starts. All the documents can be found in Appendix 1 in those PDF documents that you received off eScribe. 2:30 we can discuss them, and then 3 o'clock we'll start provided everything stays on time. So we'll start with looking at the policy. So the policy was last updated in 2015. It requires that the applicants be regional in nature, prepared to provide some financial assistance, and we're also not to be subsidizing senior level. So it's deal to be have preference to those who have not received assistance. The maximum dollar amount for a regional grant is $50,000. More than 2 regional grants in a 4-year. All of the applicants today have, so they all criteria where they received 2 in the last 4 years. So applicants must be organizationally locally based. They must benefit at least 3 elected municipalities. Fill a need. Funding support must come from other sources as well, or other things like that. Also, it's important that the applicants align with strategic. What it cannot fund: wages or consulting fees. Capital improvements on leased or rented land is not allowed. Operating or capital deficits, we're not supposed to be funding that. Or tax payments. So keep those in mind when you're. So this is going to be the presentation order. A little bit early, but Jim, who represents Agar Lake, is here. So I think we'll start because these traditionally running longer than they should. So Jim, if you want to come up.
Good morning, or afternoon. My name is, and I'm not playing that. Or not, yeah. Anyway, my name is Jim Anjana. I'm the representative from Agar Lake Camp Society, the nonprofit for mobile challenged people. My presentation is going to be pretty straightforward. 3-minute video, then I'll explain anything I think is missing, which I don't think is much. Then there's another quick video. Then I'll do a Q&A and I'll be out of here in like 9.5. I hope. And I don't have to click anything. Adam's doing it all, right? Adam, I am ready. Oh.
So I thought there'd be a big clap or something, but no, I'm kidding. uh, we're a nonprofit and we're the only one in the province, and we have no funding from government. We get grants, donations and fundraising. That's it. And we have a pretty big budget for the year, so we have to hustle on all those things. This is our grant plea, grovel. I'm going to show you one more video, and then at the end, if there's any questions, but most of it was on there. But the breaking down you might want to get. We get about 650 guests per year from up and down the Soyuz, even out of the province sometimes. And they usually family groups come up and have a great 2 or 3 days. So Adam, if we could watch Bill film number 2, and then that should answer all questions. Okay, you heard the one about let me think about what else I can tell you. It's just north of Summerland. I'm from Summerland. The camp is above Summerland. Started 11 years ago. It's growing, believe it or not, just incrementally every year, which is really great for us. I don't know what else to mumble about between slideshows. Are you ready to go? And that's it. That's more or less what we do. If you have any questions about anything, I may need my notes, but I'll try to go without. Any questions about Agar Lake Camp Society? Yes. And this wasn't even arranged, by the way. It's actually like this. Yeah. No, it's truly, that's just the way it is.
My 2 kids are 30s, and they've each spent 10 years. Individuals who have, and some of the stories they tell me, try to go to a power chair, go uphill, fast, skid, all kinds of, see a facility like one of the few in Western.
It's one in Alberta, but it gets government money. It's duh.
So people just like everybody.
Can you remind me again where you get your funding from?
Get it from fundraising. We do about 3 or 4 activities a year. Donations from happy folks, and grants, like today.
So you come to the regional district, and then do you go to all the municipalities as well?
Nope.
Just here today. Okay.
Well, me only here. This is my first time doing any of this stuff.
Okay, no, I didn't know if Egger Lake also was going to the municipalities as well and doing this presentation, or are you just coming to the
You
regional?
know, I better not say that definitively because I'm not the fundraiser.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure about that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Yes, Director Conans. I have them on my computer. I can tell them to you. So, sorry. We have the password. It's on the wall. But okay, so the password, if you click on the guest, if you click on the guest Wi-Fi for the facility. Got it. Okay. Sorry. Agar Lake was looking for about $4,500 to help with their offset some expenses. Yeah, they've been vetted by the finance team. That's why they're because you were early, so
It's $4,500, and it's itemized on the literature you have that you don't have, but I can go through it quickly with you. Watch this. This year's request is for, and I'll just itemize it if it's not there. We need the communication system up there because the phone dies all the time. And it's quite a ways up north of Summerland. So we're going to buy a Starlink communication system, $499. The installment is $199. The annual cost of it that we're going to absorb, we're not even asking for that, is $1,680. Then we need 2 hot water tanks, 5 window blinds. It's all itemized, and the cost is all also in your documents, I thought. We need 2 big heavy umbrella stands because they keep blowing away on the docks. And we keep replacing them for $18.99 ones, and we can't keep doing that. We need 8 door handles. It's kind of little, but wood stain. We have to stain a bunch of the facilities up there. We do all the labor, but we're going to buy the stain. A swim ladder for people to get. It's easy for us, but when you're in a wheelchair, it's not easy to get from the wheelchair into the canoes or into the water for a splash. So we have to get another ladder, and we have to buy a bunch of gravel because 2 times last year, the wheelchairs went off the paved paths and got stuck. So we're going to fix that. That's exactly what it is, and the total is $4,524.73. Yes. I don't know. President was supposed to do this. She knows all this stuff. I'm a sub.
okay. So we're gonna bring up the next presenter because she's here early, and it's Marisa. Hope I pronounced that correctly, from the Desert Sun Counseling and Resource Center Society. They're looking for $50,000.
Good afternoon, everybody. My presentation is a little longer, so I am going to try and get through it as fast as possible, and I'm going to try not to bore you. But we do a lot of exciting things at Desert Sun, and we really, really need your support. So Desert Sun Counseling and Resource Center operates in the communities of Oliver, Osoyoos, and Okanagan Falls. And you might wonder, what is our mission? Our mission is to help people get back into life. And we do that by providing responsive programming to empower people of all ages to experience and enhance quality of life at home, in schools, and also in the community. The values that guide us in our work is compassion, acceptance, empathy, and equality. So we provide 24 supportive programs in the South Okanagan. Most of them are free of charge. We are cradle to grave organization. So our programs support people from prenatal right to, we try to keep seniors living independently for as long as they can. And most of our funding comes through contracts, grants, donations, and fundraising. Unfortunately, none of our programs are fully funded, so we are always looking for support from our community to help support us. And so that is why I am here today. One of our newest and latest programs, called the Community Lift program, needs some support from our community, from our communities, to be a sustainable program. So we serve just about anyone from homeless people to people to women and children fleeing domestic violence. And then in the last couple of years, we really have expanded our programs to seniors. As you all know, we are an aging population, or we do have an aging population in the South Okanagan, and more than 45% of our population is 55 years and older. And so a lot of our seniors need a lot of support. And we are trying to actually bridge the gap and provide the gaps in services in our communities. Our organization has quadrupled our budget in the last 7 years. We have grown from organization with a budget less than 500,000 in 2017 to a predicted budget of 2 million for the 2024-25 fiscal year. So we run a variety of programs for seniors, and just about all of our senior programs require some kind of transportation. As you all know, transportation in the South Okanagan is a major issue, and it especially impacts seniors, as they, on top of the fact that a lot of them don't drive, some of them also have mobility issues. So one of our programs, so these programs are served by our van, which we have owned for the last 10 years. And then we were lucky enough to partner with the RDOS, and for the RDOS to donate or partner with us. And we purchased a bus last year, this year, 14-seater bus. And so our hope is that our van will be able to be used for transportation to and from our programming, and then our bus will be used for transportation for medical appointments and diagnostic testing of our seniors. So we also run a Better at Home program, our TAPS program. The focus of that program is joy. We also, so we provide activities for our seniors that's followed by a healthy lunch, and seniors are transported back home after lunch and picked up in the morning. Our Better at Home program we offer a variety of services to ensure that seniors can live independently for as long as possible at home. But one of our programs that are required and used the most is transportation. In the last 4 months, we have provided more than 450 transportation to our seniors, to about 80 seniors. So there's a huge demand for transportation, and most of this transportation that is required is to and from. We also have community support workers that work in family physician offices in the South Okanagan as part of the primary care network. And the community support workers, I don't know if you can maybe go back to the slide, or if you about all the different supports that the community support workers provide. But one of their tasks is to provide seniors with, or patients with, transportation to medical appointments. And in the last 3 months, we have found that most of their time has been taken up by transportation, and leaving them little time to provide all the other supports that is necessary for seniors. We also have a meal program that helps with food security for our seniors. I'm not going to talk about that. I don't have time to talk about, and an emergency preparedness program where seniors register with us, and we also provide transportation during an emergency for seniors to evac centers and help them navigate the emergency. So a lot of our programs are transportation heavy, and that was why we felt we needed another form of transportation, and that's why we were lucky enough to partner with you and purchase a bus. So the bus is going to allow us to concentrate on providing medical transportation to our seniors. We have heard from community support workers as well as physicians and all of our program leads that a lot of our seniors do not attend their medical appointments outside of town in the city. So they miss specialist appointments, they miss diagnostic testing because of lack of transportation. So the plan is, we were lucky enough to get some money through New Horizons for the 24-25 fiscal year, and that, along with the bus, is allowing us to provide this new program called Community Lift to our seniors. And this program is running 4 days a week. One day on a Monday, we are running the bus up to Penticton, Tuesdays to Kelowna, and Wednesdays and Thursdays, it's a local service between Sawyers and Oliver. Mondays and Tuesdays is only for medical appointments. The bus stops in all 3 communities and go up to Penticton, deliver patients, pick patients up at home, and patients to the clinic where they need to go, and bring them back again to their home at the end of the day. So the better at home transportation that we do provide, and that there is a demand for, is costly. We have volunteer drivers, and it's an individualized service, so it is costing clients up to $130 to go up to Kelowna. And as you know, a lot of our clients cannot afford $130. And so we have heard from a lot of our clients that it's also really difficult for them to make use of the BC Transit, because they have no ways of getting to the bus stop, and then also they have to spend the whole day on a bus and transiting between buses in Penticton to get up to Kelowna. So I'll that help. This program will be we'll be able to provide transportation to up to 14 seniors at on any given trip. 12 or otherwise 12 seniors plus 2 wheelchairs. We're only going to charge clients $10 for a ride all the way from Osoyoos up to Kelowna, $5 to Penticton, and $2.50 in Osoyoos, okay, and Oliver. So, nutshell, that right? We were going to start the program this week with out of town trips, and then we realized that it was a long weekend, so we have started the local trips this week. We have had a huge positive response from our communities and also from clients. And we have a bus driver who is a great carer of our elders. He has been with us for the last 4 months and has connected some of our elders to other services in the community. So not only is this going to be, but it's also going to be have eyes on vulnerable people. Might wonder how sustainable this program is going to be. And as I've said, we have funding in place for this year. We are hoping that the RDOS is going to help us through the next year. And then we are going to also embark on a sponsorship program. And we always fundraise and have donations, and we will use some of that money to augment the funds to ensure the longevity of this program. The Minister of Health also visited our agency and was extremely excited by this program. And he so this is what the bus looks like. As you can see, the RDOS logo is on there, and there's a lot of sponsorship spots on the bus. And we are going to sell those spots, and we're hoping to earn $12,000 to towards the operational cost of the bus. We started with our advertising sponsorship about 24 hours ago, and we've already sold 4. So to recap, we think that this is a vital service for our community, that it will lead to better health outcomes for our seniors. Our seniors will be less isolated. A lot of our seniors do not drive in the winter, so we'll give them an opportunity to get out to meet others, and then also to connect seniors with other services that they might so I'm here today to ask you for your support so that we can ensure that this is a sustainable project. Unfortunately, we do need the community support to make some of our programs run, and we are hopeful that believe just like we do that this is a vital service to our community. Thank you very much. And I have a short video of some of our clients that was filmed yesterday. I took the bus to Oliver yesterday. This client is 99 years old, so I wanted to show the video. So yeah, there's another on the capital.
Questions? Okay, thank you. There's a question here.
Hi. I just want to say that Marisa and the team at Desert Sun Counseling do a great job of fundraising. For 5 years, I went and got a bowl of soup, and now they just do fundraising for the bowls without the soup. But anyway, I still have my 5 bowls that I've had over the years. They do an excellent job of fundraising, and I see them all the time because their office is right beside town hall. So well done, and I think that explained it well.
Hello? Okay. Thanks for the presentation. I just wanted to know if you could repeat, because $50,000 is quite a big sum for us in grant and aid and RDOS. Is there, can you repeat again how, if that's going to be for 2025? Can you explain after that how you will place that $50,000 year after year?
So
or make
we
sustainable?
also are looking at such as interior health has committed funds. So we just basically need time and get some traction to get, our budget. I have no doubt in my mind that, this program will be funded. Our organization do run very successful funds. So in the process of starting another fundraiser in this, that's going to be specific for. So yeah, our organization, I would say, it's financially.
Is this like operational 50,000 or is this 50,000 for reinvestment into the bus?
No, we already purchased the bus, so the bus has been paid for. So it's all operational costs. For instance, we just had to buy winter tires, gas money, all of this.
One question I have, you're strictly seniors or are there disabled people
So
eligible?
yes, so we are going to be transporting disabled people as well. So our community support workers work with patients, and so those patients definitely.
Hello? Test. Okay, thanks. Can you explain about the drivers, the driver staff, or is that a volunteer?
Yeah.
And if it's a volunteer, what's the retention or I guess the backup plan?
So the driver is no longer a volunteer. We have made this a position because we just see this as a vital service to our communities, and also because just so excellent with seniors, and he's very observant and has come to our program lead and said, so and so is not, then we are also able to and to let the doctor know, make sure that we definitely want to retain our driver, and so we make sure that we.
Will you get any funding through Handy Dart?
So we are actually going to be meeting with Handy Dot tomorrow. So we're meeting with them and Interior Health tomorrow. So there's a lot of excitement around this project in the South Okanagan. People have reached out to us. At the media, we've had specialists from Kelowna reach out to us and say, can you send us the schedule? Because we want to make sure that our patients from your area looked on those. So yeah, it's a good thing.
All right, next on the docket. Oh,
What are the
guidelines supposed to fund operator capital deficits, tax payments, and then where government, higher levels of government should be. So this one's a tricky one because we did finance the bus, so that's why they presented to this. Some directors did put money to help finance it. Another way to do it is through community grant and aid if they apply. That would require us to establish a service.
So one of the boards or policies is that you don't fund anything that is government funded, that should be government funded. I heard here is this is a starter. Right now the province or the federal considering it.
Marisa made it out the door or not, but I'm just wondering if they're looking at expanding over into the Smilkameen at all. I think I missed her.
Yeah, well, we can make these discussions after all the presentations are done. Discussions like this we can hit after. So our next presenter, we have a HaHa Kids Festival, and it's Rachel. We're asking for $15,000. Been supported in the past by the board. $5,000 in 2023.
Haven't been charged. That's risky, you guys. I even made him a script so that he could follow it, so it was off my responsibility. Man. Hi guys, I'm Rachel from HaHa Kids Fest. I'm the board chair for the organization. I'm also one of the festival coordinators. Thank you very much for having us today. We have presented in the past. See, look, it didn't even work the very first time. Do I have to aim it? Yeah, it's kind of working, I think. Okay. Some of you might be familiar with the organization already. We formed in 2019 and really pretty much took off in 2021. So we're still a little bit on the new side. We're mostly known for our annual Arts and Culture Festival, which is a 3-day festival for children and families that we present in Gyro Park every June. So it's a 3-day festival, presents high quality performers, artists, educators, and elders from across Canada and the world, presenting diverse array of cultures and arts education. We've now become involved in quite a few other projects throughout the year in addition to the festival. So you'll see us partnering with things with SOEC and FrostFest with the city and just building that programming throughout the year. And as a reminder, and for those of you who are not familiar with us, our purpose and mission is as follows. If I can get, I was so smooth, you guys. There we go. Are you doing it for me anyway? Making it seem like I'm doing it? Sorry. Yeah. The purpose, one of the purposes of the organization is to advance the public's appreciation of the arts. This is done primarily, as I mentioned, through our annual arts festival, high quality performances, workshops, presentations, and other events through the year. The mission of Kids Fest, and particularly the festival, is to present world standard performing arts and participatory activities that are entertaining, educational, and accessible to children from all social, economic, and ethnic backgrounds. I have that memorized because I say it so many times. What I'm going to do right now is just take a moment, catch up on my slides, since I said this already. Oop, getting there. So I'm just going to take a moment to share what we've accomplished over the last few years since I presented. I think it's really important. It's valuable, or important to us anyway, to let you guys know what you've invested in and what we've achieved, what we set out to do, what we told you we were going to do, and make sure that we followed through on that. So that in itself says that we are quite a dedicated organization. We're dedicated to our communities and its members. The events, programs, and experiences we produce, whether that's on our own or whether we're partnering, are very positive events. Very positive experiences bring a lot of hope to many people. We invest in the people of our communities by supporting exploration, accessibility, connection, and inclusion. So in addition to us fulfilling our mission and exposing thousands of children and families of all abilities to arts education, we've made specific achievements in these areas. Volunteerism. Last year, we, with the funding support from Canadian Red Cross, we ran a volunteer program project focused on enhancing the organization's volunteer recruitment, engagement, and retention, as well as raising volunteerism in general in the community. We found out of COVID, the volunteering went down, especially the spirit within our community around that. And so we recognized that and really wanted to work on that. Over the course of this project, we held multiple training, engagement, and recruitment sessions. Our volunteer program now is healthy, it's desirable, it's inclusive, and it aligns with the Kids Fest culture we've built. This past year in the festival, this past June, our volunteer numbers doubled. And sign up now, when we're doing signups for other programs that we're running through the year, our volunteer sign up is usually full within 24 hours. And that shows what it does if we completely invest in something for just even under a year it's been of putting investment, focus, energy into that. One of the projects we've done. Increased community engagement. So as a newer organization, it was imperative we increase our engagement within the community to gain exposure, but also trying to let everybody know what we're offering. We have made a point of supporting other organizations' events and programming, attending multiple community events. Also, we focus a lot leadership and mentorship with the youth of our communities is an important piece of our work because 60% of our volunteers are ages 13 to 17. These are youth that are looking for mentorship, leadership, and job experiences. We've created relationships with youth programs and leadership programs to help provide these experiences, at the same time having them serve other members of our community through the festival at the same time. Increased partnership. Partnership has been quite a success in Kids Fest organization and what we produce. This year at the annual festival, we had over 17 other organizations partner to help us co-create some of the programming. So it's, as an example, some are like SOIX, the South Okanagan Immigrant Community Services, Penticton Library, Dragonfly Pond, Penticton Academy of Music, Penticton Art Gallery, the list goes on and on. Partnerships have been formed on many levels, not just for programming, but for accessibility, marketing, and it's becoming more and more common that now our organization is getting requests from other organizations or businesses asking for partnership. Another area of focus that we have achieved is reducing barriers in the creation of our Festival Buddy program. So this program we built allows us to work with our budget, some of our funding with individuals and businesses to help sponsor children and families that are facing financial barriers to attend the festival or receive our arts programming in some other form. Yes. So another achievement just recently this year, the organization and festival received the status of professional with the British Columbia Arts Council. So that means we've moved from community category to professional in the BC arts sector. Our programming, policies, and financials and staffing have to be developed enough and at a certain standard to achieve this. And now we have to maintain it. The other status that we received this year was charity status. So this is just to point out that we are growing and we thank you for the support in the past and that we are putting it to work. We are working. We are locally created, we are locally run, and we are locally benefited. So we are so grateful for your investment. We hope that just this little tiny glimpse of how we follow through on our goals and our plans. Our plan is to stick around and do a lot more, serving our communities. It's through these achievements that the organization has created a strong and positive reputation, and we are now the largest festival of our kind in BC outside of Vancouver, Surrey area. So we produce the most amount of programming, and as per our population percentage of kids and families coming, we're not the same as Vancouver and Surrey, but if you put us side to side and par in what we're producing and receiving, yeah. There used to be the Fat Cat Festival out of Kelowna. That doesn't exist anymore. And that's a more and more common thing. So I'd like to take credit. That was all us that were the largest. But unfortunately, what this has to do too is that there's a lot of programs and festivals in the arts and culture sector that are no longer produced. It's been challenging for organizations to run in a sustainable manner and continue to present good quality programming for their communities. We have a rare magical thing going on within our community, and we have a fantastic team that is putting this together, and it's benefiting many, many people in our community. We've stayed on track with our growth plans, and it's proving to work in our favor, which brings me to our plans for 2025. Oh. I think that's the slide I want. No, that's the slide I want. Yeah. So it's definitely a bit of a celebratory year for us. It's our 5th year producing festival programming. I know we're so old, but it's kind of a marker for us. And with that in mind, the festival theme, we have a theme every year. This year, the festival theme is in full color. But just as the previous years, we do pick particular focus areas within the organization to work on in addition to just producing the festival. He's just doing it for me. It's a sad state. So one of the major focus areas this year is outreach, and particularly outreach to all electoral areas. Okay, so this is pretty important to us, and we've been trying to improve on this. We do already have attendance, particularly to the annual festival, from electorals, Penticton, Summerland, Naramata, Costin comes every year, Kaleden, Oliver, Soyuz, but some of them are a little bit inconsistent. Some of them we're hearing some barriers. So we know from our surveys and our discussions and our tickets and that there's still a lot of children and families that we still need to reach. So we can do much more for our communities outside of the Penticton border. We need to increase awareness, partnerships, community engagement, and accessibility plans to all electoral areas. This requires broader marketing, advertising plans, more relationship building, barrier assessments and follow-ups, engagement activities, and personalized communication, which does tie into why do I even try pretending like I'm doing this? So I spoke about outreach and then barriers. Yeah, let's break through. While we continue working and strengthening our festival buddy program, that definitely still needs some more work. But also that's a very financial focused accessibility program. So removing barriers, we've heard a lot about from schools and from public transportation, visibility, supervision, what do I do? So I could go on and on, but that is also linked directly to the outreach. So we will be spending time and efforts towards removing and or improving those identified barriers. Program growth. Oh, so this year we will be taking the festival from Gyro Park to Okanagan Lake Park. At Gyro, we have a cap of how many attendees that we can welcome each year, and we are reaching that limit each year, restricting us and allowing how many children we can give access to the programming. And with more children comes more need for programming and participatory activities. There have also been some program needs on our list for a little while now, specifically to certain age groups, accessibilities, certain kids with certain abilities. It's time to re-innovate, freshen up the programming, keep it vibrant and challenging and of quality for the kids. We're also going to be looking to expand our broader audience. So as mentioned, we advance the public's appreciation of the arts. That's one part of our purpose. So we are looking to produce programming that is suitable for the general public. We touched a little bit on it last year. A Friday night community concert in the park was done. We do more of those. We maybe even do drive-ins out in other electoral areas. And ensuring that the outreach you're doing in electoral areas connects to the new programming that we're doing. Staffing growth. As we near the end of the organization's 5-year plan, we are right in place with what was projected for our plans. The growth plan was to move from 100% volunteer powered to 90% volunteer powered with additional contractors and eventually grow to permanent staffing. We've created enough programming, partnerships, and projects that serve the community that there's enough demand for permanent staffing now to run this organization. We're that busy. To ensure these new developments can be produced at a high quality and while still maintaining the Kids Fest culture is important. We don't want to lose what we've built thus far and continue to be a consistent force in the community. So on our application, you'll notice there's a larger increase than what we have asked for in the past. And that is mainly due to the focus areas in 2025. Growing programming, location, outreach, and staffing in the same year. It's a large plan, but is a structural plan. And undoubtedly there'll be some unexpected costs, but at the same time, it helps us reach the next step of serving our communities in a more deeper and more accurate manner. So again, I hope this has given you a quick glimpse in all my talking, all this information, of what kind of this organization stands for, what we've produced, why it's important to support our successes and continued goals that serve our communities. So thank you. So I picked the areas that I spoke about, primarily saying that it's going to be not so much the staffing, but program growth and the outreach. That would be the primary. Yes.
Thank you. You've had exceptional growth from 76,000 to over 231,000 in revenues, memberships, and everything else. A quick question being is, with asking for this money for more growth, you're clearly growing at a massive rate. So where are you reinvesting your funds?
Yeah, so I would say that also that revenue you're saying, a good chunk of it is in kind too. So keep that in mind a little bit. So where are we reinvesting? The outreach out to, I think we've seen what we can do, and there is some, we're very strong within the Penticton, Summerland even, OK Falls a little bit, but we're not reaching our goals of making sure that we're getting the programming further out in the South Okanagan. So it would be in the marketing and the outreach planning and the time that takes and reducing some of the barriers. And then also the move to Okanagan Lake Park, it's 2.5 times more just in production to move over there. Is that, yeah? Yes. Have they been attending or are, yes. Yep. 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 Yeah. So his question is, am I reaching, are our plans to reach as far as Princeton, Karamias? Because I dropped a very few names in there, but yes, the plan would be to go that far.
Great, thanks, Rachel. So our next presenter is a representative of the Okanagan-Similkameen Conservation Alliance, which is the Meadowlark Festival. And it's Shauna. They're asking for $5,000, and we have supported them in the past for $3,500 in 2023.
All right, can everyone hear me okay? So thank you for welcoming me here today. My name is Shauna, and I'm representing the Okanagan-Similkameen Conservation Alliance, in particular our Meadowlark Nature Festival, which we made the grant and aid application for. I'm gathering that this doesn't necessarily move the slides. Oh, maybe it does. Thank you. So just a quick note about our organization, OSCA. Our goal, our mission is to educate people about the unique local ecology and biodiversity of this region with an aim to foster a widespread commitment to conservation and sustainability. So we have a few smaller programs to meet this aim, but our Meadowlark Nature Festival is our biggest event and program of the year. And it's been happening since 1998. So it's a very significant part of the local community. So every year we get from 1,400 to 1,600 participants coming out. Last year, according to our records, we had 1,500 folks join in our events and tours. And about 40% or a bit more than 40% of those people came from out of town. So people are attracted to the region because of our festival. There are very few nature festivals in Canada. I think there's maybe only 2 other nature festivals. So it really highlights our region as an area that cares about the environment and wants to share information about ecology and sustainability. I was going to say one other thing about the visitors, but can't remember what it was. It'll probably come up later. So just for those of you who might not be familiar with our festival, it happens every May long weekend over 5 days. And primarily what we offer is a program of nature tours. So we have over 50 nature tours throughout the Okanagan-Similkameen region. And they are with the goal of just offering a chance to appreciate nature, to spend time in nature, have some recreation, and learn about what you're seeing. So how we do this is by connecting with local experts and mentors. And last year we had, probably 60 mentors who came and led a tour with their unique local expertise. And it's everyone from biologists to naturalists to Indigenous knowledge keepers to artists, farmers, basically anyone who has a close relationship to the land and wants to share what they know about it and how they're working with the land. Most of these mentors are in some way connected to conservation or stewardship, and we partner with a lot of local groups. We have a lot of partners who will actually send a representative to lead a program. So there's countless other nonprofits that we're really giving a soapbox to. They get a chance to talk about the work that they're doing at the sites that they're actively working on. We also partnered last year with the Lower Similkameen Indian Band. We had multiple mentors lead programs representing their work. Also, we had mentors from the Penticton Indian Band and the Osoyoos Indian Band. So our Indigenous partners are really important, obviously, for a land-based festival, and we'd like to continue to build those relationships. Those were the tours that sold out first. People want to hear that unique perspective and history. So that's an area that we hope to grow in this year. We also try to keep our tours accessible for a wide range of ages and activity levels. This means everything from really active backcountry hikes to a paved trail that is accessible to almost anyone. We also have a few sit-down events that are presented more like a talk. So again, just trying to keep that accessible. And last year we introduced a affordable pricing for families. So rather than paying per individual, they could bring their whole family for a very affordable price. And we also had a couple free family programs last year. So that's another area that we'd like to grow in. It's probably not a secret that the demographic that tends to be attracted to the Meadowlark Festival is an older demographic. So we're trying to really attract some more youth and young families to be involved as well. So again, our goal is to bring both visitors to the region and locals out onto the land to learn about the unique history, culture, and ecology of the South Okanagan region. All our tour guides are experts in their fields. And last year, what's significant, I think, for you folks is that we brought multiple tours and hundreds of people to many of your rural communities, including Princeton and Costin, Caramius. We had lots of programs happening in those areas. And it's really cool to see how a lot of people had, you know, never been to Princeton. We had 3 different tours in Princeton. One was focused on butterflies. Apparently Princeton is a butterfly hotspot. I did not know this until last year. It has incredible butterfly diversity. So we had a butterfly program in Princeton, we had a fossil program, and we had a birding program. And people were drawn to the area who had never even been to Princeton before. So it's just cool to see how that can happen, and we can really highlight all the different areas. We offer programming in Osoyoos and Oliver and Okanagan Falls as well. We actually have a big keynote speaker every year, and for the past couple of years, we've been using the Venables Theater as our venue. This year, we have CBC journalist Laura Lynch coming to the Venables during the weekend. She is offering her time and expertise for free, donating it to the festival. She hosts a CBC radio show called What on Earth, environmental programming. So we're really excited to welcome her, and again, just really help bring more folks down into the South Okanagan to explore that area, hopefully go out for dinner or maybe even stay there. We had lots of programs in Caledon, specifically around the White Lake area, and out in Naramata and Summerland as well. So we're really trying to build those connections with all the folks that are working on the land in those areas. So just to finish up a little bit about our impact, I think that we have a fairly good reputation out in the naturalist community. A lot of folks come to our festival from the Lower Mainland, from Alberta. Last year, we had 2 women who drove here from Timmins, Ontario, specifically with the Meadowlark Nature Festival as their destination, which was pretty incredible. So our reach is growing. One way that we can build that is to really invest in our social media and online presence, because as we all know, that's how people find out about things these days. So we're trying to reach out more that way, and again, hopefully get some younger folks involved as well. With all the visitors that come to our region, we know from our post-event surveys that people are staying in hotels, they're buying meals, they're supporting local hospitality. And then, of course, for the locals who live here, it's a really big benefit to be taken out into your local environment to learn more about it and to have a fun, enjoyable, uplifting experience. And we know, you know, there's lots and lots of recent research about how being in nature is beneficial for mental wellness and physical wellness. So we're really meeting that goal of supporting our local residents in having an enjoyable experience and learning more about the land they live on. And all our mentors will, you know, close their tour or their program with a thought about how to better respect the land and how to better move forward with consciousness around stewardship and sustainability. So that message is getting out there. And just to highlight OSCA again, the Okanagan Similkameen Conservation Alliance, which is our organizing nonprofit. We are also active in leading programs with elementary schools. So we have an eco studies program. We're active in offering being a part of the bird banding station at Basso Lake. We partnered a lot with the Okanagan Nation Alliance to offer programming about the salmon. So we have a greater presence in the community. But again, Meadowlark is the anchor, and Meadowlark is what sort of gives us our weight and gives us our reputation. And then it allows us, even though we can't necessarily financially support our other programming through Meadowlark, it supports our other programming just by building our reputation and getting the word out there. So it's a big part of what we do. And I think it's an amazing festival. It's been happening now for over 25 years. So we want to keep going and we want to keep growing. As I'm sure you've heard from a lot of folks today, we really stalled. We had 2 years of canceled festivals during the pandemic. And so the past couple years have just been trying to rebuild, trying to regrow, trying to expand our programming again. And we were really successful between 2023 and 2024 in getting more people involved, getting a larger team of volunteers out. We have, close to 50 volunteers who are really dedicated to the festival. We only have one part-time staff member, so it really is a volunteer-driven festival. And we continue to get more folks involved and expand the number of our tours. So thank you so much. I think that's all I have to share, just kind of the highlights from our application. And if anyone has questions, then I'm happy to respond. So our overall budget, I think this year when I wrote the budget, it came to about 69,000, and we have lots of revenue streams. A big chunk of that is funding from local government. We still do really rely on that. And I think we would probably put that towards getting the word out more, like I said, so investing a little bit more in things like social media, an online presence. We're actually redoing our website completely this year because it was very, very old and ineffective. So I don't think we need any of this money. We kind of had some other funding earmarked for that. But we are wanting to increase that online presence. And we also want to try to engage younger families. And that means offering more affordable and even free programming because younger people just do not have even $25, $30 to spend on an event for the day. So we have to kind of subsidize those free programs because every tour that we put on, ends up with we have to pay insurance, we have to pay professional fees for things like bookkeeping, we have to update our website, we have to offer the mentor and honorarium. So it costs a few $100s to put on one program. So $5,000 would help us promote, and it would help us maybe offer a few more unique tours in the region. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks, Shauna. Our next presenter is representing the Similkameen Country Development Association. They're asking for 10,000, and it is Vanessa.
Hey everyone. That's a tough follow-up. Nature and kids, so I'm gonna try my best. My name is Vanessa. I'm here representing the Similkameen Country Development Association. And one sec, hold up. There we go. I'll talk a little bit about the SCDA, what we do. So I'll say SCDA because Similkameen Country Development Association is a mouthful. I'll talk about the challenge we're facing, the solution I have in mind, and the goals I see coming out of that solution. And then at the end, of course, if you have any questions. So about us, like I said, my name is Vanessa. I'm part of 1 to 3 staff members. I'm the only staff member with the SCDA throughout the year, however, not in a full-time capacity as it is often the case with a nonprofit. We have 7 directors with the AGM now coming up in December. About me a little bit personally, I came to the Valley nearly 10 years ago. So another 10 and I'm considered a local, semi-local maybe. I'm originally from Germany. Always say I fell in love with the Similkameen first and then with my husband. So I'm very passionate about the Valley. I'm very involved in the Valley. If you don't see me working with the SCDA, you see me at the Rec Center. I used to be part of the Rec Commission before I joined their team as an instructor. They needed a Zumba instructor. I got my certification, filled that need. I'm with the Trail Society. I'm with the Costin Players. So I'm all over the place. So I'm really passionate about this valley and I'm very, very grateful I get to work for the SCDA. I'm one of the few people that can say I go to work happy and excited. I don't dread the work day, so that's very amazing and I'm very grateful for that. We were founded in 2000. I came on in April of 2022, kind of with a brand new board. So we kind of started fresh back then. Which was the reason that our board prioritized strategic planning, and we determined sustainable economic development was a focus, business advocacy and representation, visitor information services. So we have our office currently at the Karameas Visitor Center. So if you want to come visit, come down, I'll be there. We did a lot of changes in that visitor center. We introduced representation for Upper and Lower Similkameen Indian Band. They didn't have any brochures, so we worked with them and Destination BC to get some brochures in there. We got an amazing mural in our bathroom, so lots of exciting changes in there. I was told it's the prettiest bathroom of all Canada. I've heard that before. In Karameas, you gotta come and watch. I'm not joking, I'm quoting here, yeah. So we provide a variety of services and activities outside of that, such as event coordination and promotion. Some of you might know the Similkameen Sizzle, Canada's only hot pepper festival. Karameas is known for that too. So besides the bathroom in the visitor center, and that's a big one. And then of course, relationship building and collaborations was really important for us the last few years. We've got great working relationships with the Rec Center, with the Natamkan Community Garden down at the LSIB, with the Museum Society, Lower Similkameen Community Services. So great collaborations that way. And we created an organizational culture. And with that, we are now currently in the process of determining our mission, vision, and guiding principles. If I could see my notes here on my laptop, I could tell you the mission, but I don't have it without seeing it yet. So what's the challenge? You probably reviewed the application. We don't have a professional website for organization. So that's what we need. But besides us, many of our local businesses lack online representation as well. So there is businesses in the Similkameen and past that, they don't have a website at all. They don't have a Google listing, either due to limited capacity, no budget, or some of them are just not quite interested yet to have that. So we want to help with that. And I was actually fortunate enough to be admitted to the Digital Marketing Academy through Destination BC a few weeks ago, which was very exciting. What I didn't know is they'll go through your website and your social media and audit it. And it was very, I don't want to say embarrassing, I say enlightening, because there was a lot of challenges that they pointed out. Our website is difficult to find, looks unprofessional, outdated, gets worse, poor navigation, technical barriers, and it's absolutely mobile unfriendly, which is over 50% of people. Like I don't remember, other than work, when do I access the internet? It's on my phone. So mobile unfriendly, is not good. What do we want to do about that? We want to revamp and modernize our website to improve functionality and appearance. We want to include proper representation for local businesses. We do that currently, but only for members at the moment, which we want to move beyond that. We want to represent, ideally, every business in the South Similkameen. And then the funding request focuses solely on the development of a website through a professional web developer. And so what are the goals that I want to meet? Number one, enhance regional representation. So we want to position the South Similkameen as an attractive destination for economic growth and investment within the regional district. So South Similkameen, our organization usually services Area B, Karameas, and Area G. But I think with this project, we can go beyond that, and the whole Similkameen, if not even further, can benefit from that. We want to align our online presence with the hard work we've done locally. So we worked hard on the ground, and now we want to have a website we can be proud of for all the hard work we've done. And we also want to lead by example. So maybe if we serve as a role model, we can show the importance and achievability of a professional online presence, and then ideally create a ripple effect throughout the valley. Down. There we go. We want to inspire local businesses to improve their digital presence by demonstrating our own commitment to it. And then we want to also highlight how strong that impact can be, not just for the individual business, but for the overall perception and success of the region. So essentially, we want to provide an online platform which is regularly updated and monitored. And ideally, we want to tailor it to the needs of our community. We're already working with the people in our community. We already have the relationships established. And now we want a website where we can tailor that to the needs of our communities. We want to serve as an information hub for not only potential visitors or investors, but especially for our local residents and businesses with events, services, resources, and so on. And overall, like I said already, we want to represent local businesses. If they don't want to do it themselves, I'll do it for them, and they can get an online presence they can be proud of too. Exactly. Ideally, in my dream world, down the future, I also include those farmers because they're important in the Similkameen. And I had the opportunity to connect with a community further north with an economic development association, and they offer something like that on their website, where consumers can look for producers, can find a farm fresh eggs for those hobby farmers or micro farmers that just can't afford just farming. They get a presence for their farm as well, but that's down the line, and that's my wishful thinking. And now I ran through it and hopefully made it in 10 minutes. And if you have any questions, I will try and answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great. So our next presenter is on behalf of the Summerland Museum and Archive Society. It's Andrew.
Is this working? Can you hear me? Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for inviting me and everybody else and giving your time. That's find it for the area. Presentation. Okay. So I'm representing the Summerland Museum and Archive Society. I'm on the board. You can see I'm an old guy, not working anymore, I suspect. So, public and education concerning our local natural and cultural heritage. We think, and we are told, we're a rather vital part of the Summerland society area. It's this sort of work is very necessary as far as being part of a community. What we do down there, day-to-day activities, we collect, document, and preserve items pertaining to the history of the area. We display these items physically or digitally, and we conduct public outreach activities. Here's our current organization. We're run by a bevy of beautiful ladies, a part-time administrator, full-time curator activist, a part-time graduate intern, and a part-time visitor services assistant. And in the summer, we have a summer student. There are 7 board members, of which I'm one. We have 167 members of the society, and they participate in various activities. And we have 30 volunteers. You know what I mean by volunteers? These are the ones who really do all the work. They do about 100 hours a year. They're exceedingly important to us. This is the sort of numbers that we entertain at the museum on a yearly basis. 2012 down there, 2,000 people. You can see the pandemic year 2020, but we've recovered nicely up to the 4,500 people per year. So we do serve a lot of people. I would say half of them are Summerland. I would say the rest are, I would say half of the rest the valley area, people coming from various places around us, and then the rest are from all over the place, as you probably imagine, visitors to the area. So why am I here? Well, we just went through an exercise looking at our computers. We needed to upgrade them, and we found we were woefully in trouble here. Our museum does not have funds for a safe and secure cloud backup system. We currently back up on a portable hard drive stored in the museum. I'm very embarrassed to say that, but that's what we do. It's not good enough. We've got to do something about it. So, of course, we start looking for some funds to do something here. We can't run, we use Proficio archive management software. This is a specific software for museums. There's very few of these around in the world, I'm learning, in the world. And in North America, there are 3. In North America, there's only 3 people who make good museum archival software. So we use something called Proficio archive management software. And we found when we tried to update it, or no, that's not right. We can't run the old version of Proficio on the new laptops that we bought. So, you know, we're going around in circles here. We thought we needed to upgrade our computers. We did that, and then we couldn't upgrade our software. This before, some folks. So there was another problem. We don't have any technical support from Proficio. We haven't afforded it up till now, but we've decided we must. If we're going to do our job properly, we have to do something. We've only 2 new and fast Windows 11 laptops. We bought them a few weeks ago, and that's when this problem became apparent to us. And the others are old desktops. So we're looking for money. We're coming to the RDOS to see if they can give us some or all of what we need. We need some more computer hardware, a couple more computers. We need to then think of the backup of our data and how we manage our systems. So there's a Microsoft Cloud backup cost. And by the way, I have to admit to you, we put in here costs for 3 to 4 years out. I'm going to be upfront with you. When you do this, when you buy software, you have to maintain it and you have to look to the future. So it's in these numbers, and you'll have seen that in our application that this is a 4-year program. We buy the stuff now, then we maintain it for a few years into the future. So the software upgrade that we need is $2,500. And then the maintenance is the expensive thing from now on through to a few years from now is $8,000. This is an American company we deal with, so we have to deal with the vagaries of the exchange rates, but these are Canadian dollars. And so we're looking, when you add those up, for $14,520. Message we're looking to help us with that. Thanks for listening, folks. Questions? Yes, sorry.
Notice that one of your staff is a visitor's, works in the, as a visitor, a greeter. Do you consider your facility a visitor center for Summerland?
It is partly a visitor centre for Summerland, absolutely. We get a lot of people. You hear me? Is this still working? We get a lot of people coming in and saying, you know, where's this, where's that? And so, yes, it's part of our job. It's fallen into our laps as a visitor centre. Absolutely, yes.
Thank you. Has there been any consideration to partnering with other small museums and maybe sharing the same software? I know Khalid is an example. We have a little tiny museum. We would definitely benefit from having something like that. So a partnership with smaller museums.
That's a very good question. The answer is no, we have not done that, and maybe that's a good thing to do. I don't know how that works with the people selling the software and the hardware. I don't know whether they would going for different organizations going for the same deal. I just don't know that. We'd have to look into that, but I like that. That's a good thought. Thank you. Yes. That's 4 years. Absolutely. Yeah, it's 4 years. Absolutely. More questions? Sir.
Do you get much support from the city of Summerland?
Yes, we get a standing grant from Summerland, and I can tell you what it is if you want to know. It's $55,000 a year. It's nowhere near enough. Yeah, we'll be talking to them as well. Any more? Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. All right, we have one more before we can go on break. It's from Take a Hike Mental Health Foundation, and they are doing an online presentation. I believe Jay Dean is going to be the speaker, so Adam's going to set that up for us.
Hello. Are we able to hear me?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And I see that the screen is up there. I'm ready to go.
You bet.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present to you today. My name is Jadine Williams, and I'm a manager of philanthropy at the Take a Hike Foundation. We've requested $2,000 to support the new Take a Hike Penticton program launched this September. The program operates out of Penticton Secondary and is delivered in partnership with School District 67. The youth mental health crisis is at an all-time high, and the word crisis is no exaggeration. 70% of adults living with mental illness today saw their symptoms emerge before they turned 18. Yet, as kids, only 1 in 7 are reported to receive the mental health supports they need. The pandemic only served to make it harder, and in the interior especially, the health authority reports almost double the rate of youth suicides compared to the provincial rate. And the BC Children's Hospital recently published a study that showed since the pandemic started, 2/3 of school-aged youth have or are currently experiencing mental health challenges. These challenges range from anxiety to depression to severe suicidal ideation. And young people in these situations, more than anything, need a nurturing, stable, and safe environment where they can develop the self-confidence and relationship skills that will serve them throughout their lives. Yet, unfortunately, most don't find the stability or safety either at home or at school. Our education system is designed for the majority, and it sometimes leaves the vulnerable behind. And this is where Take a Hike works. Sometimes it's easier when we tell you a story, and I want to tell you a story about one of our alumni from the Burnaby program, the Take a Hike Burnaby program, Sasha. When we met Sasha, he was an angry teenager having a pretty tough time and dealing with some difficult circumstances. Sasha's parents divorced when he was born, before he was born, and his mother left him at a young age to pursue a better life in Canada. And Sasha eventually joined his mom, immigrating from Estonia to Canada a few years later. Sasha's mom remarried, but his home life was really hard. His stepfather was abusive, and Sasha would receive beatings from him on a regular basis, and sadly witness his mom receive beatings too. And Sasha hated his stepdad. He and his mom were stuck in a cycle of abuse, and he felt trapped and alone. And eventually, the abuse escalated to a point that child services were called, and Sasha's stepdad ended up in handcuffs. At that point, Sasha felt relieved that something was finally being done, but now he and his mom were on a single income, and times were pretty tough for both of them. Money was tight, and Sasha started selling drugs. He was just hanging out with his friends until all hours and showing up to school late if he was showing up at all. And he was eventually arrested and charged for possession and dealing drugs. And these things were just spiraling out of control for Sasha. And thankfully, at that point, Sasha's school principal and his mom intervened, and he was introduced to the Take a Hike program. So what is Take a Hike? At its core, it's a youth mental health and well-being program embedded in an alternate education classroom. So we partner with local school districts who provide a teacher, a youth worker, and the physical program location. And then Take a Hike layers in the elements of a full-time mental health clinician, as well as the opportunity for the youth to participate in land-based learning. So as I mentioned, each classroom is staffed with a teacher, a youth and family worker, and a mental health clinician. And having this mental health clinician in the program is super important because it destigmatizes therapy and allows young people to access support whenever they need it. This also means that situations, I went a little bit farther. It also means that situations can be addressed quickly and de-escalated before they reach crisis mode. And youth attend 5 days a week, September to June, just like regular schooling, in a cohort with class sizes determined by the district, usually about 20 youth. So each week, young people in the program participate in out days. This can be anything from snowshoeing, biking, kayaking, rock climbing, depending on the time of year and where the program is located. And each year they go on 2 multi-day trips, one in the fall and one in the spring. And these trips are really important milestones for you. So they leave their electronic devices at home, substances, any bad influences are left behind, and they spend time around a campfire and outdoors with a safe and caring community. Mental health clinicians attend all of the out days, all of the multi-day trips with the youth, and these trips generally end with a lot of aha moments to help be a catalyst for deep and lasting change. And the ultimate goal of our program is to empower youth with the skills and resilience they need to graduate high school, build healthy relationships, and achieve success, however they define it. In terms of who we serve, Take Hike serves youth experiencing vulnerabilities generally between grades 10 to 12 who are struggling to succeed in the mainstream school system and are at risk of leaving before graduation. Program participants are capable and motivated young people who are facing barriers such as mental health and behavioral challenges, substance use, risky behavior patterns such as crime, like our friend Sasha. And what's really important to keep in mind is these vulnerabilities are occurring at a really pivotal time of development. So these kids, their brains are still developing, they're facing challenges, and it affects the way that they remember, attend, listen, and learn, and make decisions. And of our program participants last year, and we are this year in 15 communities, so of our programs last year, 87% came from families experiencing financial need, 77 have diagnosed or emerging mental health concerns, 45% struggle with substance use or received addictions treatment, 27% are currently in the MCFD care or were in the care in the past, and 25% had experience with the criminal justice system or had previous involvement with police. And as you can see, they're coming from pretty challenging circumstances, but Take a Hike meets them where they're at and surrounds them with a caring and safe and supportive community. In terms of outcomes, Take a Hike's supportive community combines a distinctive approach of integrating clinical therapy supports while immersing youth in a nature-based program. This approach helps the youth learn self-empowerment and positive coping mechanisms, which are skills that we all need to navigate volatility and turbulence in our lives in high school and beyond. Last year, Take a Hike youth reported that they saw positive improvement in their lives. Including 89% of youth felt they learned life-changing skills to cope with their mental health and emotional struggles. 86% of youth felt they had developed the skills and knowledge to be successful in the workplace. And 82% of youth achieved their goal of high school graduation. And that's an average over the last 5 years. In terms of Sasha, the program worked for him too. After his principal and mom intervened when he was arrested, Sasha joined the Take a Hike program. He recently shared a powerful memory with us of sitting in the Take a Hike classroom, realizing that this was a crossroads and he had a chance to make a positive change. Still, that change didn't come easy. He hated the program at first and was ready to give up. But over time, Sasha developed a deep and trusting relationship with his teacher, Matt, and really started to value with the counseling and the academic supports. And slowly, Sasha began to turn things around. He started to excel at school. He leaned into his natural leadership skills, becoming a mentor to the younger kids in the program, and he started taking on extracurricular activities with Take a Hike. And most importantly, Sasha started focusing on his goals for the future. We met him where he was at and helped him to see and get where he wanted to go. And he graduated back in 2017. He soon found work at a high-end car dealership, and he worked his way up in the company. He now works in the finance department. And having a safe, stable community helped to anchor Sasha and give him the tools that he needed to succeed. And we're super proud of him. And all the young people, wish all the young people success in our programs. And Sasha is just one story. And this requested grant from you would directly impact the youth of 20, lives of 20 youth and their families in and around Penticton. And this means that you would be a part of 20 different stories. Young people just like Sasha who are capable, intelligent, hardworking, and they just need a community that understands and supports them through the challenges that they're facing. So we hope you'll become a part of that community and ensure youth in the region have access to the mental health and academic supports they need to thrive. And I think Sasha says it best. So thank you, each and every one of you, for your time this afternoon. And I really appreciate this opportunity to share Take a Hike with all of you.
Thank you, Jadine. Are there any questions for Jadine? Question.
Assist with the school district, and I just wanted to know how much the school district is putting into this or what they're putting into this program.
Yeah, so our budget from our side of it for the school year is around 270,000 overall. We've got lots of support and we don't need funds for all of that, which is why our ask is 2,000. The school district puts in the classroom space, so the physical space, a teacher and a youth worker, so 2 full-time staff members and a classroom. Did that answer your question?
Our local school district is putting in that many people, staff into the program?
Yeah, it's 1 teacher, 1 youth worker.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, JD.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for everyone's clapping. I can see it, I can't hear it, but appreciate your support. Thank you.
So now it's break time. If you guys want a break.
All right. Done.
All right, we'll bring it back in, guys, please.
First and last call to get to your seat. First and last call. Let's go.
Thank you, Graham. I got to speak louder. All right. Thank you for listening to all the presentations by the grant applicants. I just want to touch on where we are with the workshop at the tax requisition stage. So currently, our budget without any of these asks in, we're sitting at 2.47% as a region tax increase. On there, you can see what each of your municipalities is sitting at and the electoral areas as well. And that's just at workshop level. That will change with what we add. So this slide here is showing the grant and aid recipients over the last 3 years, plus this year is 4. So this shows that over a 4-year period, they haven't received more than. Some people may have thought that the Haha Kids Fest has received more regional grant funding. They did receive in 2021, received again in 2023, and they do receive community grant and aid from the other electoral areas, which is not part of the regional grant and aid process. So that may be why we saw them. Same with the Desert Sun Counseling Society. They mentioned that we financed a bus off of them. That was also done through regional grant and aid by some select directors and was not by the whole organization. So that may clear up some of what was presented. So having said that, if all of the regional grant is accepted, it would be a 5.03% increase to general government. That does not mean that it goes from 2.47 to 7.47. Actually only moves the total RDOS tax up 0.5%. So just keep that in mind. It's not, you can't just add this to what the tax requisition is. It's a portion of that. Having said that, the floor is yours to discuss the grants on what you want to support or not support. So we'll start with the Agar Lake Camp Society.
Thank you. I fully support that. They do a lot of good regional work, and I think that it hits all the regional communities. So I absolutely would support that.
Sorry, my apologies. It's the chair runs these discussions. Thank you.
No, that on mic. Not so simple, but this. What I will say is, if there's others that want to speak to it, we'll have that now. Otherwise, we'll straw poll on each of them. Just the normal process. So, well, we'll just ask if that's one of the things you want to do is maybe change the amount. We'll deal with Agar Lake Campsite or Society first. So kind of have a motion or a tentative support it. Now, somebody who wants to change the amount, now's your opportunity. Otherwise, I'm going to just ask for a show of hands for those in support of. Let's see the hands to support that. Okay. Is there any opposed? Straw poll would win on supporting that. Okay. We'll move on to the second one on there is Desert Sun Counseling. This was 50,000 request. Thought on that. I see. Go ahead back there.
Thank you, the chair. I'm just curious from staff's perspective. I'm sorry, just based on the policy, I thought it was my understanding that we didn't fund for operational, and the presenter said this was 100% operational fund.
No, it's for operational or capital deficits. So if they were running a deficit from last year, we're not going to cover their losses. It's the intent of the policy.
That could be the Grinch also. So, but the $50,000 is something that the government, she has stated that she's going after some government funding. And our policy is that we shouldn't be funding government, something that the government should be doing. She also said that, to me, what I heard is that this is a starter to show the province that can work. So this is something that is something you'd have to take a look at because the policy is pretty clear on it. Change the policy. I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, also bring to light, in one day, they raised $48,000 selling 4 squares to the bus, right? So they're clearly very good at fundraising. And I think in a small amount of time, they could find that 50,000 because it took them one day to sell 4 squares on a bus and accumulate that money. So.
Director Coyne, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we should take this one off. I don't see it as something that we should be funding right now. It's a great program. It's a great idea. It's not something that I can support.
Okay. Take that as the motion for the time being. So take a straw poll for support of removing this. So in favor of we'll move on, which is theirs. Thoughts on this or direction? Director Johansson, go ahead.
Just a question on this one. It looked on their application that they indicated they had gotten funding in the last 3 years. So again, not matching our policy.
That's the one that actually got community grant and aid funding from some of the electoral area. Like Wayne.
Yeah, as far as the regional grant and aid program went, they received in 2021 and 2023. Rest of the years they did receive community grant and aid, which is a different program.
So the application was filled out incorrectly?
Yes, if they're saying they received regional grant and aid, they only received in 2021 and 2023. The others were community granted aid. I believe it was $5,000 a year, I think. I'd have to verify that.
Great. Perfect. Director Monteith.
Thanks. I'd like to know from my peers who all gave community grant and aid money last year, because I think electoral area I gave 2,500, I believe. So if 4 or 5 of us did that, that would be more than the 15,000. So I guess looking for who gave money last year.
Just a quick show of hands from the electoral area directors.
So if this doesn't pass, that might be an option for them.
For sure. It's always that. Director Coyne, I see a hand from you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in support of this one. I think last year it was us, the board, who asked them to go and look at a different option. It's not something that everybody gets to participate in it, but it is a great regional program that brings kids in from all over from most of the regional district into Penticton for this event. So I'll support it if it goes on the table.
Are you putting it on the table?
I can. I just can't see what's going on in the boardroom, so I didn't know if there's anybody else with comments.
Someone in the support. Okay, so we'll have it on the floor. Support this. Give anybody an opportunity if they want to change the amount. Director Bush.
Yes, I'd like to change the amount back to 5,000.
Okay. All right, we'll deal with it as a $5,000 grant. That's where we're at. Show of hands for support of that, $5,000. Okay, I'll allow a quick question here.
Thank you. So just for clarification, if this organization receives community grant and aid, can they still receive, if they receive regional grant and aid, can they still receive community grant and aid?
Yes, they can.
Stop them applying for.
I have a hard time with them getting both, right? Like it seems.
That would be up to us.
That'd be the
then.
director's
If it's
discretion.
supported regionally, then the individual has the opportunity to say no.
So supporting it at $5,000, they would receive more money through a community grant and aid process. So if we're decreasing the amount to 5,000, we're actually harming them possibly.
Not necessarily, because not all gave the same amount to the community grant.
Okay. So right now it's at 5,000. I'll ask again for a show of hands. Support. Opposed. Looks like it carries for the time being. And I will just remind folks, this is always initial thoughts on it. Change our minds and the amount. Next one, Okanagan Similkameen Community Conservation Alliance, which was a $5,000 request.
I would support giving them $5,000. I think this is a great program, and they really make an effort to go all over our region. So I think $5,000 is reasonable. They also have, they have a really good reputation, and they do all over, like she said, our region, as well as like Vancouver. But anyway, I think $5,000 is reasonable for what we get from this program.
Okay. Unless there's someone who wants to change the amount, this is your opportunity. Show of hands in support of this one. For the time. Development is 10,000 at the
Yeah, I propose we give them 0.
to take this off at the moment.
Yes, I would.
Regional. See if it. So not support this one. Show of hands. now we're down and museum. Ones that's difficult at regional criteria. Director Coyne?
I'm pretty sure you said we're on the museum one, and if that's the case, I'd like to remove it. I don't see it as a, I mean, history is regional, but I don't see this program as being a regional one. It's more of a localized one. So nobody else will, I'll make that motion.
Okay, seconded. Right, I will ask those that support of removing this. See its show of it's good. All right, so at the moment, that one will be removed. Pike, you.
Yeah, grant process is always great. I think this organization is exactly why we do this. We've seen some come today that have bank accounts over 200,000. This group runs obviously on a pretty tight budget. More importantly, for $2,000, you're dedicating 20 students. The statistics were startling. So I'm actually going to put a new budget out for 5,000, and I'd ask for a seconder.
Up. Someone ready to second that? Speak to it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's obviously great that you think this way, but I don't think we should be given any more than they ask.
Same, okay. So we do have on the floor at the moment, raise it to 5,000. I'll go.
It's it's a really large budget. So small from the bucket of to the area general that serviced and should
Go ahead over there.
Yeah, thank you through the chair. I guess my question to this is it just specifically schools in Penticton, or is these schools throughout the whole regional district?
Statement was school district 67, but
I believe currently they only have Penn High, but their goal is to get it out to more facilities, schools, I should say.
is to raise it to 5,000 in support. Let's go. This one failed. Opposed? I would say failed.
I just want to say that I understand completely why you wanted to increase the budget, directors, but if they came back to us and said they would open a second classroom, second teacher, a second assistant, I would be 100%. If they wanted to open up a third classroom, a third teacher, I would do it 100%. So if we can coax them into growing the program here as opposed to just throwing money at them, I would 100% like this particular program. But for now, I give them what they ask.
Thank you. Through the chair, is there an opportunity for staff to reach back to them and ask if, Penticton's got 2 high schools, if they can have 2 different programs going on, and if they would consider doing one in the Similkameen as well, and maybe with school district 53, or even starting that conversation with 53, but maybe even just starting it in 67 with 2 high schools, then the 5,000 would make sense. But getting to that regional approach, 53 is a different school district than 67. So
We can definitely reach out to them.
Sorry, good catch up there, Director Coyne.
So I couldn't hear the full presentation from them. I guess my question is this a program that's fully, or to whoever can answer it, is this program fully run through the school district, or is it a nonprofit that's supporting them? There's 3 different school districts in the regional district, but I always have a problem funding school district programs through our taxation. They have funds, they have a lot of funds. Um, and I always feel like whenever they come to us for funds, it's like, why aren't you using your own money and your own taxation for services to your clients?
My 2 bits worth in is a foundation. School District 67, for my understanding, was just more or less supporting them in kind.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll support the 2,000 if I'll make that motion.
It's on the floor already, so I'll ask then for a moment. I would say that one's on. Brings us to the end. It's what's the next item, CAO?
The next item was going to be the FTE requests, and it's going to be split up between this meeting and the next budget workshop. But I think it's more fair if you hear all of the managers making their pitch. So what the process is you're going to hear directly from the managers that requested the time equivalents, try to get you to sell into a yes. And then you're going to hear from me in a camera so you can talk freely. So at this point, what I'm recommending is that we do adjourn, and our next meeting for the budget is December 12th.
So an early piece today. Okay. Word is opposed to that. There's no adjournment or anything needed. So thanks everybody for your attendance today, and next meeting next week, regular RDOS board meeting. We will see you all then.